Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people can say almost the exact same thing. But one person gets ignored, while the other gets immediate respect. Same words. Same idea. But completely different reactions. And it makes you wonder. What makes people take someone seriously? Most people think respect comes from being louder, more confident, more dominant. But in reality, the habit that makes people respect you is much quieter than that. In fact, most people completely overlook it. And once you notice it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. When people want respect, they often try to project power. They speak louder. They interrupt more. They try to sound certain about everything. But ironically, those behaviors can actually reduce respect. Because true respect doesn't come from forcing attention. It comes from something more subtle. Something psychological. Your brain is constantly evaluating the people around you. Not just based on what they say, but based on how they behave under pressure. Because the brain is always asking a silent question. Is this person secure, or seeking approval? And the answer to that question changes everything. Think about someone you naturally respect. Maybe a leader. A teacher. A mentor. Or someone you've met who just had a strong presence. Now ask yourself something. Was that person constantly trying to prove themselves? Probably not. In fact, people who command the most respect often appear calm, unrushed, unbothered by needing approval. They don't rush to fill every silence. They don't rush to defend every opinion. And that's where the quiet habit appears. The habit that quietly creates respect is this. They are comfortable with pauses. They pause before speaking. They pause after making a point. And they don't rush to fill silence just to avoid discomfort. That might sound simple. But psychologically, it sends a powerful signal. Because most people rush when they feel uncertain. They talk quickly. They explain too much. They try to convince others constantly. But when someone pauses, it signals something very different. It signals control. Your brain interprets pauses as confidence. Why? Because someone who is secure doesn't feel pressure to rush. They allow space. They allow others to think. They allow their words to land. When someone speaks calmly and then pauses, people naturally focus on what they said. The silence actually amplifies their message. This is something skilled speakers, leaders, and negotiators understand very well. The pause is not weakness. It's presence. Humans are extremely sensitive to social signals. And timing is one of the strongest signals we detect. Fast, rushed speech often signals anxiety. But controlled pacing signals confidence. Your brain automatically interprets that as authority. This is why some people seem to command attention without saying much. They're not competing for attention. They're allowing attention to come to them. Imagine two people in a conversation. Person A speaks quickly, explaining every detail, trying to make sure everyone understands their point. Person B speaks calmly, makes their point clearly. Then pauses. Even if both people say something equally smart, most listeners will perceive person B as more confident. Not because they spoke more, but because they spoke with control. The reason most people don't use pauses is simple. Silence feels uncomfortable. When a conversation becomes quiet, people feel pressure to fill it. They start explaining more. Adding extra words. Justifying their ideas. But the moment you remove that pressure, something interesting happens. People start listening more closely. Because now your words carry weight. Instead of rushing through conversations, try this simple shift. When you speak, slow down slightly. Make your point clearly. Then pause for a moment. Just a second or two. Let the words settle. At first it might feel strange. But you'll notice something powerful. People will stop interrupting as much. They'll listen more carefully. And they'll start treating your words with more respect. Confidence is not about dominating conversations. It's about being comfortable within them. When someone feels secure enough to pause, it shows they trust their words. And when people see that trust, they start trusting those words too. That's the quiet habit. Not louder. Not more aggressive. Just more controlled. Here's something most people never realize. Respect doesn't come from saying more. It often comes from saying less, but with presence. The pause gives your words space. And in that space, people start paying attention. Now I'm curious about something. In conversations, do you think you usually speak too quickly or at a calm pace? Comment fast or calm below. I want to see what most people say. And if this video helped you understand the psychology of respect, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more insights about human behavior, confidence, and social skills. Because once you understand these subtle habits, you start seeing social interactions in a completely different way.